This week we got a Masters 1000 event for the women's tour in Doha. I'm going to look through the first round matchups, the draw, the seeds, to try to forecast some big matchups later this week. So start looking at the seeds. One big thing that to notice from the beginning is that Sabalenka is not going to be playing in this. That leaves Iga Swiatek as the number one seed. Then you got Rybakina, Anisimova, Coco Gauff. And another player not playing in this tournament is going to be Jessica Pegula. So the five seed then is Mira Andreeva, then Paolini, no Belinda Bencic in this one as well. Very interesting. She also pulled out of WTA Abu Dhabi, so interesting to see her miss back to back pretty big events, especially given that she was trying to play in that WTA 500 event in Abu Dhabi, and with her earlier Australian Open disappointment as well after her rocket start to the season. So that leaves Svitolina as the seven seed, Alexandrova as the eight, Linda Noskova as the nine seed, and Boko as the 10. Uh, and then no Naomi Osaka and no Madison Keys as well. That leaves Clara Towson as the 11 seed, Emma Navarro, 12 seed, Samsonova, 13 seed. She's 18th ranked. And then Mukova is the 14. No Iva Jovic in this tournament either, which is interesting. And instead, we have Deanna Schneider as a 15 seed and Elise Mertens in at the 16 seed. So now looking at the draw, this is going to be my first time looking at the draw. We'll take it piece by piece. We're going to start at the top half, of course, section one. We'll do section by section. So this one, so Swiatek and Paolini get the buys. First round match, Janice Jen, Kirstea. Kirstea playing very well, just got that title in the Transylvania Open. Going to be an interesting one. I expect Kirstea to win, but I wouldn't be surprised. Very tightly contested matchup in that one. Hazakina Uchijima, Pavlyuchenkova Mertens. Not the easiest first round match for Mertens. Yeah, that one goes. Noshkova Maya Joint. Maya Joint has not started the year out that well. I'd expect Noshkova to win that one. Siegemund and Gacheva should be very tightly contested. And then one of the stories of the Australian Open, we got Son Mez versus Sakari. Interesting first round match in that one. Very important one for Sakari to kickstart her season. But I could totally see Son Mez winning this event as well. And the winner goes on to face Paolini. Overall, there's some players that could definitely pull off an upset. I'm looking at Kirstea. I could see Pavlyuchenkova going pretty far, especially given that if she defeats Mertens in the first, won't have to face Swiatek until the third round. Besides that, Sakari Paolini could be a good second round matchup. And then of course, it would be expected that Swiatek would face Paolini in the quarterfinals. I definitely give the edge there to Swiatek playing on the hard courts in Doha. But it still would be a match. So it could be a little bit of early trouble for Swiatek, but overall, I don't see it being too bad for Swiatek. Going on over to section two, we got Amanda Anisimova matched up with Svitolina in this one. And then some first round matchups, Sierra Pliskova, Yala Valentova, Christian Mukova, Navarro, Tatiana Maria, Kalinskaya, Buzas Monero, and Yastrzemska Buzka. I think this is quite a strong section. A lot of talented players. Very interested to see Emma Navarro and because her form this year has not been too good. See how far she goes. I see it as a relatively not too bad for Svitolina in general. But there are plenty of players in this that could make a run. I'm looking at Ayala. I'm looking at Mukova. I'm looking at Kalinskaya as well. Kalinskaya, a very dangerous unseeded opponent in this tournament. So yeah, in general, we also have to look at what type of Emma Navarro are we going to get? Are we going to get the 12th seed Emma Navarro, or kind of what the Emma Navarro that we've seen to start this season so far? Overall, not too bad for Anisimova in this one. And Anisimova Svitolina as a possible quarterfinal is a very interesting one. We'll see if Svitolina can keep her level from the Australian Open. I would lean Anisimova to come out of this one, though. All right, heading to the bottom half. Uh, Alexandrova and Coco Gauff get matched up together. Interesting how the 4 and the 8 seeds get matched up. So that's the best case scenario for Coco Gauff as a 4 seed to get obviously to get matched up with the 8 seed. In this one, the other seeds in this section is going to be Towson, Samsonova. Overall, this looks like a pretty good draw for Coco Gauff in general. See Giacomo Kessler. Kessler could I expect Kessler to win that first matchup. Kessler Golf could be a little bit concerning. Leila Fernandez is there in the first round as well. Could be a dangerous unseeded player. And then, of course, you got Ostapenko, who's always a wild card. I'm looking at the top half of this section. I'm seeing Ostapenko and Raducanu. All they're always wild cards and can spring an upset. I would expect it to be a third round matchup of Alexandrova versus Towson, and I would expect Coco Gauff to take this section. And then in the fourth section, we got Andreeva matched up with Rybakina. We got Jinyu Wang on the bottom. We can see Jinyu Wang versus Elena Rybakina second round. That could be a very, very interesting one. But besides that, Diana Schneider is not the worst seeded player to be matched up with Rybakina. Andreeva being matched up with Mboko is very interesting. In this one, I feel that the biggest challenge to Andreeva is going to be Mboko and Rybakina. I feel like really Rybakina is focused on getting past that second round, which is probably going to be against Jinyu Wang in that one. And if that's the case, if Andreeva gets past Mboko and Rybakina gets past Jinyu Wang, I expect them to meet in the quarterfinals. All right, so in general, uh, overall, I feel Coco Gauff has a relatively easier draw. Rybakina has Rybakina's could have a tough second round opponent, but overall not awful. Andreeva, I'm looking at the Mboko match. Alexandrova has a lot of wild cards in her section. I'm looking at Raducanu, Ostapenko, Towson. It's not the easiest for Alexandrova. Svitolina, Kalinskaya, Navarro are the ones I'm definitely circling for that one. Anisimova should get through pretty easily in that one to the quarterfinals. And then Swiatek has a relatively tough Pavlyuchenkova, Elise Mertens, Kazatkina, Kristeva Chen. Yeah, that could be tough for Swiatek. We'll see. And then overall, in terms of if we're looking at just projected quarterfinals, so for this one, I would expect it to be Swiatek in section one. I would expect her to face either Noskova or Paolini. I would take Swiatek in that one. So I think her quarterfinal draw is not too bad. Anisimova, Svitolina would be my projected quarterfinals in this one, in the second section. And this one all depends on if Svitolina plays the way she did in the Australian Open. It could be a very, very tough match for Anisimova. Quite tightly contested. I will lean Anisimova in that one, in that section. In the third section, I definitely see Coco Gauff taking the section. Alexandrova, of course, could be a difficult opponent for her in the quarterfinals. However, it might be tough for her to get there, and none of the other seeds am I really too concerned in a matchup versus Coco Gauff. The only player I think that could maybe spring an upset to Coco Gauff would be maybe Ostapenko in the quarterfinals. But Ostapenko is playing well. And then in the fourth section, I would expect it to be Andreeva versus Rybakina. I could also see it be Mboko versus Rybakina. Whichever the case, I do think that that would be a fantastic quarterfinal match. Rybakina versus either Andreeva or Mboko. Yeah, so those would be the potential quarterfinals. And then based on how the seeds are set, we are looking at Swiatek, Anisimova in the semifinals, and Coco Gauff, Rybakina. So relatively, those would be relatively even I don't see a super lopsided half of the draw. I would definitely say section one has the most potential for chaos. The third section looks relatively chalky for me. Maybe a little bit of little chaos up in that in the top with Ostapenko, Raducanu, Towson. But I wouldn't. I feel like there's more even matches um, versus necessarily upsets. Yeah, there you go. That's the overall opinions on the draw. I will give a projected winner pick. I think it will be I think Coco Gauff is in a prime position to make it to the semifinals. So I think she's gonna make the semifinals. From the first section, I will be taking Iga Swiatek to make it to the semifinals. And in section two, I will take this is very difficult. There's a couple players. I see three players. I see Anisimova. I see Svitolina. I see Kalinskaya. And I also say Mukova. So that's four players. I can see any of those make it to the semifinals. I will be picking Anisimova in that section. And then I already picked Golf. In this section, with I will be going with Andreeva in this one. I fear I fear a little bit of a hangover, Australian Open hangover for Rybakina. I think that second round match could be very, very tough against Jin Yuang. And Andreeva's, you know, either Lynette or Cartal expect Andreeva to win, and possible Boko in the third quarterfinal. It could get a little dicey for Andreeva, but she had been playing really, really well leading up to the Australian Open, and then she'd been playing well in the Australian Open before her loss to I believe Svitolina in that one. She's been playing really, really well in the tournament up to that loss and that match loss. I think she could be extra motivated in this one. So I'll be taking Andreeva in this section. Therefore, I would have Andreeva versus Golf. I'll be taking Andreeva in that one, partially because I feel like if Andreeva gets to that point, she had to have been playing good tennis and had been building confidence, which is not necessarily the same case with Coco. I think that Coco could bring her B game with this draw and still make it to the semifinals. Andreeva has to bring her A game, in my opinion. So if it were to get to that point, definitely thinking that Andreeva is playing well in the tournament. So partially for that reason, and also it could be very, 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 very close. I would be taking Andreeva though in that one. Would not be surprised at all if Coco Gauff makes a final or wins the tournament at all as well. So and then I would have Swiatek and Isamova in the top half semifinal. I'll be taking. I think Iga Swiatek figures it out against Anisimova, wins this, makes another final. But I will actually be going with Andreeva in this tournament to win it. Yes, I'm going to go Andreeva in general to win the tournament. Yeah, so that's the 2026 Doha Masters 1000 preview, draw review, and some predictions.